Hi guys, you're welcome to Letter. Letter simply means let's talk about addiction, and I'm your host Amara. In today's topic, we'll be talking about the emotional trigger. You remember in previous videos, I talked about the voluntary and the involuntary triggers. Today, we'll be talking about emotional triggers. The emotional triggers are those unforeseen circumstances or those uncontrollable experiences that affect people's feelings and could also make them to abuse drugs, alcohol, drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, or engage in any addictive behavior. So let's talk about this emotional trigger. First of all, we have anger. Anger is that strong feeling that people have when something has happened that they think is bad or unfair. This feeling could lead to them abusing and eventually becoming addicted to drugs, alcohol, and other substances. Then the second emotional trigger is grief. Grief is the feeling of great sadness, especially when somebody dies. Grief could lead to drug, alcohol, and substance abuse and addiction. Then the third emotional trigger is stress. Pressure or worry caused by a problem in someone's life could lead to them abusing drugs and eventually becoming addicted to drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and other addictive substances. Then the number four emotional trigger is hurt. Physical pain as well as being in a difficult situation could cause somebody to feel that they need drugs, or it could make them to abuse alcohol. Even in when people are in need of money, it could lead to drug, alcohol, substance abuse, and addiction. Then number five emotional trigger is anxiety. That's the feeling of being worried and nervous, especially when somebody is nervous all the time. It could lead them to abuse drugs and alcohol and eventually become addicted to them. Then number six, we have betrayal. Betrayal is an emotional trigger. Like sometimes when people are hurt by someone that they trust, especially by those people not being loyal or faithful to them, it could drive them to abuse drug or alcohol or other addictive substances. Then number seven, we have bereavement. The death of a relative or a close friend or loved one can make some people to abuse drug, alcohol, and other substances, and they eventually become addicted to them too. Then lastly, the last emotional trigger that we'll talk about is loss. The state of not having something or not having as much of something as one used to have could lead to some people abusing drugs, alcohol, and cigarette. That said, so people should learn to control their emotions, learn to handle your emotional trigger the right way so that you don't end up becoming an addict because you have any of these emotional triggers. This is where we'll be ending today's video. Feel free to drop your comments, ask your questions. I look forward to hearing from you. Share with your friends, please. Once more, this is Letter. Let's talk about addiction. And I'm your host, Amara. Thank you.